Ooh, hello everyone. Today I'm very excited to take a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Series number 192, the Ninja Force Zartan. This is a deep cut, and I'm very happy to see it. I love this. This is a very weird version of Zartan that came during the Ninja Force line when the line was kind of about to die and nobody really cared about it, but I am a sucker for this look because it is beyond absurd, especially if we have like original Zartan here. Not even the same character. Not even close. It looks nothing like him. And I love that. I love the mohawk, the green, everything. We'll talk about that more in a minute. But looking at the packaging, Ninja Force logo, G.I. Joe Classified Series, you can see the figure in the box right here. There is, of course, the readout here, number 192, little image there. Some QR code leads nowhere on the back. Very cool shot of Zartan on some roof in Japan, probably. You can see some of the accessories that he comes with, legalese, whatever. On the side, very nice art that I believe is done by Scott Johnson, I think he does it, who does the art now. Really, really cool art. I would love to see a full body shot of that. I love the pink. The pink is great. It pops. It really pops. On the top here, Cobra logo. On the bottom, legalese. So yeah, let's open it. Okay, so here is the Ninja Force Zartan out of the packaging, and I love it. I just have to open this by saying I love this. I love this look for Zartan, because I have classic Zartan, right here, classic standard Zartan. Not a bad design, not at all. I love this Zartan. However, there is something to be said about the magic of some neon green and some nice purple, not to mention the orange. There's something to be said about just how fun a color scheme like that. It really pops, explodes, and I love this. This was like 92-ish, 92, 93-ish, right around there, when Joe kind of led more into the Ninja Force time, because if you remember, whether it be the early 90s or late 80s or early 2000s even, ninjas were all the rage. Everyone loved ninjas. You cannot get away from ninjas. There's a reason that the only character to get a G.I. Joe movie was Snake Eyes. It wasn't a good movie, but we got it because people love ninjas. People just love ninjas. So, of course, when you create Ninja Force, you're going to have to bring in some characters to remake them as ninjas. Not all of them did. We got Snake Eyes, we got Scarlet, we got Storm Shadow, but we got Zartan. Zartan got put into the Ninja Force line, and I think this is a really, really good modernization of that original design. There are some things that I would change, and maybe some things that I would add or remove, but just based on this look right here, perfect, pitch perfect. So 90s. This looks like someone you'd encounter in an X-Men book. This looks like the mohawk and everything, and the eyes. He looks like a Morlock from the X-Men. He looks like an X-Men Morlock, if you know what I'm talking about. Giving me some big vibes there. So let's get him off here real quick so we can talk about it a little further. Okay, and here is him a little closer. I love this look. If we can get a real close look in the face right, you can see that the eyes aren't solid white. There's some real dark pupils in there. It's real spooky, glass over. There's a nice scowl on his face. A lot of anger there. This is Zartan, of course. This is Zartan. You know what it proves? He's not bald. Or rather, if he is bald, he's bald by choice, because that is his full hair. It's a mohawk. And if we get, who I have right here, if we get the Xandar, they're both redhead. So I guess the entire extended family of Zartan, Zarana, and Xandar, I guess they are all natural gingers. But Zartan just chooses to shave his. Now, here's the thing. This is pretty much beat for beat exactly what the Ninja Force Zartan looks like originally, and I think better, because the original had that kind of flat mohawk, and it's like, it doesn't look great. Looks like a push broom. I think this is perfect. I love this look. Now, if I could throw some things in here, if I could put some little ideas in here, I would have gone a little further, because, this is meant to emulate kind of like the late 80s, early 90s punk scene, the mohawk, everything is a dreadnought counterculture, all that sort of thing. Someone who'd listen to Sex Pistols or something like that, somebody in that sort of vein. I would take this figure a step further. I would give him some piercings, like some nose or eyebrow piercings. Go full crazy with it. Really, really accentuate. Maybe some tattoos, because he looks fine. It's a little plain. There's parts of it that are a little plain, like the arms right here, a little plain, right there and there, side of the head. Could put a tattoo right there on the neck. The nitpicks. These are just nitpicks. These are things that I would do if I was a member of the design team. I would throw some things in like there, but as is, I think it's really good. I like the leather sleeveless vest here with the chain right here, the orange chain on this side right here, the zippers going through, the black leather, everything very on brand. The belt buckle here, which is one of the Dreadnought logos, really good. Some nice leather going right here. On the back here is a peg for the holsters for his knives, or the sheath for his swords. The studded belt, of course. Green kind of camo cargo pants and the shin pads that are purple with the steel-toed boots. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. The sheath for his knives right here on his waist. Perfect. It's exactly what you want. And even added to it is the asymmetry of having one gloved hand and one that is not, with the little band right here as well. It's perfect. It is exactly what it's meant to do. And I love this. I love how out there it is, a little weird it is. It's not a standard Joe figure. It's something different. It's trying to be, which is the Dreadnoks, as they always have been. Dreadnoks have always been trying to do things differently, always look a little weird, out there, odd. That's what they're meant to do. So this is perfect for that, especially for the time when it was made. It is very, very, very on brand. Now, as for the articulation, you have a Joe figure. I know what you're getting into. I will say, though, there is no ab crunch. You don't get an ab crunch, which is a shame because obviously, this leather is in the way. You don't get the ab crunch, but there is a ball joint at the waist here, so you do get some motion, but it is far more limited than an average Joe, which is a shame. That also means that you can't really put the arms down at the side all the way because the leather's in the way here, so it doesn't go down all the way. He does have butterflies, which again are limited because of the vest here. So the butterflies, you really can get to that much, which is better than nothing, but it's really hard to get him to do anything too interesting besides standing there and maybe with a sword, because he comes with a very cool bow, which we'll look at in a little bit. Hard to get him to hold it because of the shape of the torso and everything. You can't really get him to do it as well. I'm sure somebody can, and I'm sure there's some photography magic which you can do, but I haven't figured it out just yet. Head is on a dumbbell joint, so get a lot of motion there. Can look up that far, look down that far. Excuse me, pardon me. Swivel here, rotate, there you go. Double jointed on both sides. Both hands are in up and down. Are they in up and down on both hands? No, this one isn't in and out. I was wrong. That was my bad. Full spin there. Drop down hips, of course, gets the G.I. Joe figure. You already saw that he can swivel the waist here. Kicks out that far. Cannot kick back at all. But bend those knees, which are very tight on mine. I think it's just because it's been cold. He cannot kick his own butt. He can't do that. But nice clickety ratchet joints there. Some swivel right here at the upper thigh. Swivel here at the calf. Fucking go down, up, side to side. So, like I said, standard Joe stuff. If you have a Joe figure that has been released in the last 3 years, you know exactly what you're getting into. So it's exactly what you want. But, man, I just gotta say, it's so good. I think this is really fun. Even if this isn't, like, your idealized version of Zartan or what you'd want from a Zartan figure, even if you don't like Ninja Force, it's just a really well-made figure that just looks really nice. I think it just looks really, really good. So, let's look at the accessories that he comes with. So, he comes with a pair of knives, which you can sheath into his waist right there, or his thigh. And as you can see, there's these little hooks right here. You can kind of clip them into his fingers so he can spin around. These are just standard knives. As far as I know, these are not with any other figure. It's just this Zartan. There is a little bit of paint chipping on mine, which worries me because I have the Dark Lawn figure. And if you have that one, the knife that goes into his boot sheath, that thing has chipped to no end. It is basically just a fully black blade at this point. But like most Joe weapons, you can holster these right in here, just like so, just like that. There you go, easy peasy. And here are the main swords that he comes with, a pair of them, one shorter, one taller. I will say, these are very cool. I'm not going to pretend like these aren't. These swords are very, very neat. However, I will say it is odd that he comes with swords like these, because these seem to be, just based on the pommel and the shape of the handle and the way that the blade is shaped, these seem to be more similar to like a Chinese sword. Whereas it's Ninja Force, it should be like a Japanese blade, like a katana or a tanto or something. But like, nah, it's these like kind of Chinese design swords. Not a complaint, mind you, because they look really cool. Because these, like, the design on these is really, really nice. Especially around the guard right here on both of them looks really, really nice. This one really, really stands out for me. And I'm definitely not complaining about them. Just like, that is an odd decision-making choice there. But nonetheless, those are the swords that he comes with, and as well as the swords need to go somewhere. So there is a sheath right here that goes into his back, and the swords are designed for very specific places. Let me see, is it the right one? Nope, it's this one. That one goes right there. That one goes here. Bigger one on the right, smaller one on the left. They overlap like so, without even actually touching each other, so you don't have to worry about paint chipping off. So there you go. That's good. And the pig's right into his back. Now, this is probably the main weapon that Zartan would be using, the bow and arrow. If you've read the Marvel Comics or you've delved a little further into Joe lore, you know that Zartan is well-trained with a bow and arrow, and he loves to assassinate people with that bow and arrow. This is, of course, a very modern design for a compound bow. Makes total sense. You can see the rangefinder right here, the handle. You can see all the strings, everything. You can see how it's collapsible. It is a very standard bow and arrow. If you have a Hawkeye, you can probably do that. You probably put it with that Hawkeye. This comes out. It pegs in. I don't know if actually I don't even know if those come out. Oh, it does. This comes out. It pegs in. There's a specific way for it right here. You can see there's a little groove right here that goes right into there. And if you do it like this, here we go. Pegs it in there very nice with the nice orange fletchings right there on the back. So, you know, it's standard bow and arrow. Well, I will say, this is very cool. This string comes out on this side right here, and it is just a little string. You can take this arrow piece, and if we line it up right, peg it in right there, like so, and then this one right here. There we go. You can actually have the bow drawn, which I think is actually quite awesome. I can't lie, I fully love that. Because so many times, is that right? No, it's not right. That's probably not how it's supposed to go. So many times you'll get a bow and arrow with like a character, and it is either fully drawn or it is not drawn at all. Or sometimes they don't even give it a string. So like to see it like this with this situation, perfect, absolutely perfect. I have the Earth's Mightiest Hawkeye. I love that figure, but like I hate that he comes with an arrow that you can't use because there's no way for him to put it in the arrow or like the bow, because the bow is the flat, straight version without the hook right here, so it doesn't even work. But with this, you actually can use it, and you can have him pose with the bow and arrow, and I think that is sweet. Now, as for size comparison, there is Zartan Ninja Force with Zartan Standard, non-Ninja Force Zartan. Let me push it back a little further. There we go. Get a better angle there. They look great together. It actually is very fun to look at this because it's fun looking at this because we've come so far in this line where we have this classic original Zartan, which if you remember was very hard to get hold of. We have this classic original Zartan with a new modern Zartan with the Ninja Force design, which is also incredibly hard to get a hold of. So, you know, the more things change, they say, the more things stay the same, especially when it comes to collecting. Yet another Dreadnought. We have, is Torch, right? Yeah, this is Torch. I could not remember the name despite the fact that that's the one that's on fire. There is with Torch. So you can pair these guys up pretty well. These two actually blend together pretty well. If I'm not mistaken, I think maybe like no, it's not. I thought that the knees were reused, but they're not. Actually, I don't think anything, except maybe the hands and the arms, because I think these arms are the same, or reuse. This is mostly an entirely new figure, which is always good to see. You really like to see that. So, and here is with probably my new favorite figure, which is the Ketchup. I don't know. I love these guys. These guys are so fun. I love having these generic Cobra Troopers. They're just really fun. So yeah, there's with that. Last one. I haven't reviewed him yet, but Road Pig. I love this Road Pig. I can't wait to talk about him a little more because I'm sure I will at some point. But I love how big and beefy this monster of a man is. He looks so fun next to all the other Dreadnoughts. He just towers over all of them. And here's Zartan on the spinny base. Let's see how long it takes for him to fall, because I've tried to record this 3 times. He's fallen each time. So let's see how long it takes. But Ninja Force Zartan, great. I love him. I think it's so fun. I love this figure. I love that they're going more all out and doing weird stuff, because we're starting to run out of your standard Joes. We just had Grand Slam revealed, which means that there's only one original 13 left that needs to be revealed. I'm sure that'll happen either this year or next. But after that, that's like all the OG 13 done. We've done almost everything there is to do with the original stuff. So we got to start pumping out stuff that's new. We got to start pumping out stuff that's different. We got to start trying doing stuff that maybe people forgot about. Sigma 6, Renegades, Resolute, anything. We got to start trying new stuff because the line is going to run out eventually. There's only so many times you can recreate figures that already existed 40 years ago. You got to try new stuff. So I love that they're branching out here and creating more Ninja Force figures. Because honestly, the Ninja Force figures have been some of the best that they've done in I can't tell you how long. Like, Slice and Dice here, haven't reviewed them yet, I know, but I will. These are incredible figures. So I hope that they continue doing this stuff. I hope that they continue branching out and making new figures. I hopefully that they're not all just cartoon versions. Because if you've seen the Fatal Fluffies in the Springfield set, I love it. I love that Springfield episode. But try new stuff. Do things differently. Don't do the same stuff we've already done 1,000 times. Make something new. So, thank you very much for taking into this. If you liked it, please like, comment, subscribe. Everything needs to get done for me keeping to the news that I love to make. And I'll see you next time. Yo, Joe. Man, it's hot in here.